So here's the next one that I got in. Is it the first? I think it's the first one of these that I've got this year. So I don't really get them in very much. The Honda push mowers. Guy bought one of my basic push mowers, and so I gave him, or he gave me $20 plus this, which yeah, looks okay, you know. But like I said, it's not too bad. He says that they've left it out in the rain and whatnot, and that it won't run. And whoever they had, they put the bag on incorrectly, and so it's put pressure on the back part of the bag, and it's actually worn this portion of the bag a little bit. You can probably throw some zip ties or something in there to help fix that. What I saw, this mower is from 2006. It's the GCV 160 quadra-cut Honda. I'll put pull rope on it because got a fray right there on it. Looks like it came locally from where I live, not too far up the road. So, you know, commercial mower, not one that was bought at a Home Depot or wherever. The only negative is it is missing the air filter cover. Actually, there are a couple negatives. Missing the air filter cover, so I have to find or figure out something there. Because I don't have one. Actually, I do, but it's on my pressure washer, and I don't want to take it off the pressure washer. He said the throttle cable wouldn't stay locked in, so they had it taped down all the way. That's choke. I wonder if they were trying to run it on full choke the whole time. It's got a fun fact. This is a Tecumseh gas cap. Guess it works, right? Oh my gosh, it's slammed full of gas. Fresh gas too. Let me check the oil in it. I'll set this thing down and we'll give this thing a whirl. Tecumseh gas cap on a Honda. I've seen worse, y'all. I'm just kind of laughing with myself, not laughing at anybody. It's got oil in it. What would be really interesting is if I gave this a couple pulls and it ran, but I doubt it. Let's try it though. It's a little slow. I'm a little concerned that if they've been running without the air filter cover, that it might have damaged the internals of the engine. Let me grab the starter fluid here. Starter fluid. I'll set this back down here. Got to lube that up. It almost sounds like there's either water in the fuel or something else. So that's the clutch for the blade. Self-propel's broken from what I can tell. This is the safety. So let me investigate all this. See what in the world I can manage here with what I have, because it looks like the self-propel is not connected with anything right now, and that it's broken. So I'm gonna do a little investigating with this, and I will get back with y'all. So here in this Honda, if I can get this thing running, it'll be awesome. If you want to give a little bit of a date there, there's a date stamp on I don't know if that's the coil or something with the safety mechanism. April of 2006. One thing I've noticed is that the wheels are locked up. You can't roll them backwards. So I got something going on with the self-propel cable, which the lever's broken anyways. So it doesn't have that going for it. Drain the gas out, or drain the gas that was in the carburetor out, and it's still not firing. So what I'm going to do now is, first off, take the carburetor off, clean it, see if that does any difference. If it doesn't, put some fresh gas in it. One of those two things is bound to fix it. So I'll get started on that here right now. And with these Honda carburetors, since I don't get a ton of them in, I'll show y'all what you got to do to take them off. And all it is it's basically just remember how to put them back together is the biggest thing. You got your 3 bolts right here. The air filter will slide right off, or the air filter cover will slide right off, and then you have you slide the carburetor off, take off all the linkages, and we'll take it out and clean it. So let me go ahead and do that. So I got the carburetor off here, and you can look in here. The bowl is very clean, but as you can see, if you can look closely onto the float here, you'll see that there's a bunch of little water droplets on it, and so that obviously is not a good thing in a carburetor, having water in the fuel. So I'm gonna hit it, just a quick spray with carb cleaner, make sure all the jets are clear, and probably go ahead and clean out that gas tank too, because the guy saying it set outside and whatnot, and you can see obviously there are water droplets all on this carburetor, and there's a big bug that just came out of the wood. How about that? So I'm going to throw some carb cleaner on it. I'm going to go ahead and drain the tank out of it. Just try and eliminate all possibility of getting water back in the fuel, and we're going to put it back together and see if it runs. It really wasn't too bad to take off. You just have a bunch of gaskets and whatnot on these Honda carburetors. And I'll show you. I actually kind of bent back this bracket just a little bit to get it off a little bit better. But you have your gas line that goes into the fuel, or it goes into the carburetor. You got this gasket. You have your throttle linkage. You have a choke linkage that goes onto this mounting plate here. And then you have one more gasket that's actually still on the carburetor here. Got gaskets on each side actually that slide into each or slide into each side, and you have to be really careful taking these off, just because there's so many gaskets and stuff on. You don't really want to tear them. It's not the worst thing in the world if you do, but it's better that you don't, obviously. So like I said, I put carb cleaner on it and drain out all the gas, put it back together, and see if we can get it to run. It's a little bit of a shame because that tank is slam full on this Honda, so we'll see what we can do with it. So I know I've still got some work to do, but I did put the carburetor back on. So let's give this thing a shot. And yes, I do have the fuel on too. It's not because I don't have the fuel off. So I drained a good amount of gas out. There was some water in it. But the more I drained out, the less water I got. So I'm going to try and fire it on this and see what happens. So there we go. And the blade clutch. Obviously you can see it's not perfect. Like I said, I'm going to let this run for a little bit. I want to make sure the blade clutch works because I don't hear it engaging, but I could be wrong. Well, it was doing something because I could see the grass getting picked up. It's not running great right now, probably because there's still water in the fuel. But hey, I do know that it runs on its own. I know that if I put fresh gas in it, it probably will be good. So that was the goal there, and I'll keep working here. So now that I've kind of gotten the running portion of it sorted out, I got to figure out this self-propel deal. Because as you can see, it's bound up or something, and I don't know why or how or in what way. So I gotta take this plate off, but of course, as you can see, this mower's been pretty well used, and after about 10 years of use, it's gotten a little bit rusty. So these two bolts, look like I can take those two bolts off and can get access to the self-propel. So I'm going to, looks like they got nuts on each side too, but I think I can reach them. Shouldn't have any trouble reaching them. So I'm going to throw some WD-40 on them, get it out of the sun so y'all can see them. 1, 2. See if I can gain access, because the belt looks to be in good shape. The belt is tight. It's just not turning the self-propel, and if I can get the self-propel to where it'll turn, then I can figure out a way to make it work with this self-propel mechanism being broken here, or the cable itself. I can get creative and hopefully at least get the self-propel working, at least so everything works on the mower. So if I can get everything working on the mower, then that's easily $120. If I can get everything working well on it, then you're talking more about $160 to $180. With the quadra-cut system, the throttle cable, the blade clutch, and all that good stuff. So let me do what I said I was going to do there, and see if we can gain access to the self-propel mechanism, and see what I could maybe figure out about it. So I'm not really banking on the self-propel on this one, unfortunately. And also, I think that, I don't know, the blade clutch, it almost looks like somebody's made it so that the blade is permanently engaged, which isn't a bad thing. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I've had a bunch of mowers, rear drive mowers, that have been bad, where they'll push forward, but they'll lock back into place like that. And a lot of times, I mean, if you look at the rear wheels on this thing, it's been very, very well used. So I'm banking that since this is broken, and that since the wheels are in the locked position, because I had a Troy built that was the same way, that's broken and the wheels are in the locked position, that the self-propel has stripped itself out internally. Like I said, it's a little bit difficult to get access back there, and I can move that cable up and down and it's not doing anything. So if it was doing something, like I said, it should be working. But just judging by, like I said, judging by the looks of that, it looks like it has been a little bit abused, and so I am suspecting that it is too far gone for me to fix. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and dress everything back up. I'm going to take the wheels off and take the sprockets off of the axle so that it acts as a regular push mower. Even with a regular push mower here, I mean, it still probably should fetch around $100, maybe $120 if I'm lucky. It is kind of unfortunate though. Good news is I do have it running. I do need to get it running a little bit better. So I'm going to keep working on this some. I'm going to put all the pieces back together under the mower that I have put together. And also found an air filter cover, but it came with my pressure washer. I might sell it right now and then buy a pressure washer air filter cover a little bit later. But I was going to get this thing turned over so I can show you what I had to take off to get to the self-propel. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't know, because it's locked up right there. I just don't know about it. I could take that off just to see what the heck was going on with it, but probably in terms of time, it's probably just better to leave it like it is and sell it as a regular push mower. So you can see the blade's in decent shape. Quadra-cut's going to cut really well for whoever buys it. But yeah, a little disappointed, but still, I gave, what, $30 on trade for it, so I'm still going to make my money back with very minimal time into it. So I'll quit rambling and I'll put up my pieces and stuff back on to the mower here and just kind of start dressing it back up. So while I've got it, working on it here, I wanted to show you all what I do whenever I essentially disable the self-propel on these mowers. It'll make it roll freely. Now, you take the wheel off. This one was a 12 millimeter. Wheel comes right off. And you got this sprocket here that's on there. Well, it has a key in it as well. The key goes in that little slot right there. And this is typical for many self-propel push mowers, front drive and rear drive. It's a similar setup. This one here, some of them have the E-clamps. This one actually had one of those ring clamps on it. So I got my ring clamp pliers, took that off. And so now I've got all that off. I can put the wheel back on. Just throw that right there for right now. Alright, let's put the wheel back on here and just slide it back into its spot. Tighten it back down. And it's got the ball, this has got the ball bearing wheels on it too. But I'm going to tighten it back down here. Like I said, the self-propel was maybe salvageable, but I just don't know. I just don't know. And I'm not really huge on trying to fix self-propels if it's more than a belt. So I'm just gonna let this ride. If you can find the slot that it's supposed to go in, I think it's caught on the plastic actually. Here we go. There we go. And now I'll get the plastic back in there. Let's see, we're gonna get it. Gotta get it through that hole right there to go over the old self-propel. And here we go. I got it in the screw hole now. Now we're screwing in. Alright. So, you know, just a matter of lining up everything. A little bit more difficult when I only have one hand to work with and filming with the other, but just kind of wanted to show y'all what I do whenever I disable the self-propel and stuff on it. Because here you go, you've got free range of motion, just like your, you know, just like your front wheels too. So I'll do the other side. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit more longer too. I forgot I took that off, or I forgot I had stopped the gas on it. I did get it to crank back up and run. I just wanted to run a good little while, because I think it needs it. I'll do the other side, and all I got left is a service and stuff on it, oil change and whatnot. So I'll leave it here. I'll go ahead and clean it up, and I'll give y'all a final look and start. So y'all saw at the beginning of the video, I kind of laughed at this mower just because it had the Tecumseh gas cap on it and didn't have the air filter cover, and you know, the bag and whatnot had some holes in it. Yeah, bag still has holes in it. I could fix those, but I kind of want to be honest about it, so I'm just going to kind of leave it as it is. I know I was laughing at it, but shoot, this thing turned out pretty nice. I mean, you can see this thing's been used like crazy with the way the tread on the wheels is. It's about gone on all four of them, although the wheels are still fine. Just the tread's gone on them. As a push mower, this thing's going to be okay. It's a little on the heavy side, but it's not unbearably heavy to not be able to use. And I don't understand why they have the blade clutch permanently on, but I'm pretty sure somebody's gone in and done some work to this thing, just from the way that I've seen stuff on this mower. But I mean, the blade cuts, it's the quadra-cut, so it's going to cut great anyways. The blade clutch is just kind of an added bonus for whoever, but you know, as it is, it's just perfectly fine. And as it is, honestly, it's probably still worth, I know I'm going to list it for $120, and it should still be worth $100 to somebody, and that's it's a decent payday for what I've got in it. And it's a Honda push mower, so the motor and stuff's going to last. I've made it to where it's going to be dependable, and that's kind of the goal with everything. Like I said, unfortunately, I didn't want to go into saving the self-propel if it was able to be saved. But again, with the bag, I mean, still looking at $100 to $120 easily for this push mower, since it's only about 11 years old too. And as you can see, everything cleaned up pretty nicely. The deck is everything's in decent shape overall, even though it's been used quite a bit. So let me start this thing up and I'll show you that it runs. And also, I I tightened up the throttle mechanism. I tightened it up a little bit more because what it was doing was it was a little loose. So, you know, the choke, it would automatically come off a choke, which is just like that. This is the first time I've seen a choke like this up here. Usually it's either, if y'all have noticed, it's either right over here or it's an auto choke. So that's kind of a little added bonus that you just got the choke right there. But anyways, it was not, it was continually trying to throttle back, and it wasn't really running very well. Now I've got to stay throttled up. It's running pretty good, and it's burning a lot of the other gas out of it. So it's running a little bit smoother now. And I saw that frame, the pull rope actually just shortened the pull rope a little bit, and it's still got plenty of pull on it. So, because the rest of the rope's in great shape still. So let me start this thing up for us. And there we go, first pull. How much it's pulling up there and see how much the bag is getting inflated. Still hunting just a little bit, just a little bit. Overall, from where we started, we're okay. We'll let it run some. It seems like it is progressively getting a little bit better. Maybe throw just a little bit of choke on it. Got to get it in just the right spot. But I know I probably only I'm lucky to get one Honda. I'm really lucky if I get two Honda push mowers that come through in a given year. So I'm really happy to have this one. And you know, it'll bring some decent money for what it is. Been well used, but still got a little bit of life. So I appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this Honda as much as I have. It's always a treat to get these come through. And so thank y'all again.